Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Supernatural Selection, or welcome back to Supernatural Selection. I'm your host, Kevin the Bastard. With me this week are Mike the Skeptic. Mike, how you doing?
Wait, you're back? People
Yes.
are back?
Yes,
So-
we're all back.
So I can stop.
We're back, a
I can
dinosaur
stop,
story.
I can stop sitting here with this microphone, not doing anything for the last couple of weeks.
Yes.
Wow.
And yes,
If
he
you're
is a
gonna
dinosaur story.
leave for weeks at a time, at least throw a blanket over him so he goes to sleep.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, Mike is like a parrot in a lot of ways.
You didn't leave me any food or anything. I had to eat whatever I found on the studio floor.
Oh my God, it's terrible.
I think there was a Cheeto and maybe a toenail.
God. Fuck, that's terrible. We've also got Mr. David Davis. David, how are you doing today?
I'm doing pretty well. I'm very excited about that new cryptid that everybody's talking about.
Oh, yeah? What's that?
Oh, it's called the Speaker of the House,
Oh.
and they can't seem to find him.
Yeah, no, that's the rarest of all, actually, from what I hear. And I'm back after another bout of health problems. I was in the hospital for a bit. I got a lot of teeth left now, and I guess, having a hole in your neck, being, going through all this stuff, it's kind of a rite of passage for being a paranormal researcher, I think, that, I just hope I don't get gout.
The rich man's disease.
The rich man's disease, yes. Gout and a hole in your neck, that's the death of kings.
I thought that was, summary execution.
Regicide is the death of kings.
Well, literally.
God, it is good to be back, though. I've missed doing this. I've gotten so much research material. Like, we originally were going to be doing, I almost said Christopher Walken. We were going to do Whitley Strieber real soon, but I have this idea for a series on the Holy Trinity of Abductions. Mm-hmm. And I've got books for all of them now. So we're going to be doing Betty and Barney Hill. We're going to be doing the Van Driessen Affair, which is trippy. And we're going to be doing Whitley Strieber, which are probably the three most noteworthy abductions in history.
Oh, yeah.
And speaking of Betty and Barney Hill, this is the weekend weird this week, now that we're back. And let me talk a little bit about this. This is something I dug up. Well, not dug up, it crossed my feed. Barack and Michelle Obama are producing a film called White Mountains about the Betty and Barney Hill abduction for Netflix. Mm-hmm. Which is just blowing my mind that we're getting a new Betty and Barney Hill movie. It's being produced by former president and first lady. I mean, that's pretty cool, honestly.
Yeah. Well, and that also, it raises one important question. How much does this legitimize the Betty and Barney Hill situation?
Definitely. And we'll talk about this in the episode, but, there's a lot of stuff that points to something happened. Mm-hmm. So, Mike, you know a bit about the Betty and Barney Hill abduction, mostly from probably me, but...
Yeah, I mean, not a whole lot, but...
Yeah, I mean, it is the prototype for the modern abduction. Before Betty and Barney Hill, all the UFO encounters, for the most part, that you heard about were the Space Brothers, where it's hello, I'm from Venus. Would you like to travel around the solar system and visit Mars in my spaceship? You can bring your dog, too. And afterwards, it's just invasive surgical and medical procedures. Mm-hmm. Which is just... It's a shocking turnaround. You don't get the Venusian showing up anymore, Mm-hmm. Which...
Yeah, it's a really weird, hard turn that these abduction cases take from then on.
I know. It's really kind of... I don't know what changed in the zeitgeist, and I don't know what that says about our experience with either extraterrestrials or ultra-terrestrials, depending on what theory you want to go with. but it's a real odd turn. And like a lot of the old descriptions of aliens when people encountered them, it's like, oh, they all look like little green Jimmy Durantes.
Inka-dinka-doo.
Inka-dinka-doo. Ha-cha-cha-cha-cha. And wearing Nazi uniforms. And then all of a sudden, which is ironic, and then all of a sudden it goes into little gray dudes sticking a needle in your stomach and stirring up the baby.
Well, now you set the precedent. I want to hear Jimmy Durante saying, I was just following orders.
Oh, I was just following orders. Good night, Mrs. Calabash, wherever you are.
Wonderful.
Thank you. I'm just really happy that we're getting a new Betty and Barney Hill movie because if anyone's interested, the UFO incident, the film about it from there was a TV movie in the 70s, is actually out on 4K Blu-ray right now, and that stars James Earl Jones.
Ooh.
And I got it.
Hell yeah.
I'm going to watch it this weekend while Mike's doing inventory, so yeah, that's my first thing. That is like the big news for me right now. Is that we're getting one of the granddaddies. This is as big as if they redid Communion.
Yeah, I think because there's been a lot of like alien abduction films and stories and that sort of thing.
Yeah,
I think this might be the biggest one since of the movie projects that are out there. Mm-hmm. I feel like this is the biggest one since probably like Fire in the Sky.
Oh yeah, this is definitely which. You know, we probably need to cover that as well at some point, but
that is on my list. Yeah.
Oh, good. Okay. So yeah, that's my first story. Is we're getting a new Betty and Barney Hill movie. I'm excited. Mike is sitting there quietly, patiently going, "Oh my God, not this again." So
no, I'm just sitting here going, "Yeah, whatever."
Yeah. Because yeah. So who's got something fun to read?
I've got one.
Okay, what have you got, David?
Okay, so this was from December 16th last year.
Mm-hmm.
It's from Tara Kopp. It's from the AP. Pentagon has received several hundreds of new UFO reports.
Interesting. And this is after the hearings, right?
Yeah, which were in May, I believe.
Yeah. Last time I was in the hospital.
Right, so there you go.
Okay.
Every time there's some sort of disclosure-related thing, you end up getting real sick.
Yeah, because I don't believe disclosure is going to happen, and this is the universe.
It just teases you. It just teases you into exhaustion,
and they're somehow giving you infections.
Yes, it's them aliens. Mm-hmm. All them aliens.
I'm just going to go ahead and read a little bit of this.
Sure.
Again, it's by Tara Kopp. It's Pentagon has received several hundreds of new UFO reports. Mm-hmm. A new Pentagon office set up to track reports of unidentified flying objects has received several hundreds of new reports, but no evidence so far of alien life, the agency's leadership told reporters on Friday. So this office was, I believe, what was established following that May. Yeah.
This is the actual thing they got money for.
Yes, the All-Domain Anomaly Resolution Office was set up in July and is responsible for not only tracking unidentified objects in the sky, but also underwater or in space, or potentially an object that has the ability to move from one domain to the next.
Domain? Is that like interdimensional?
I think it's probably more referring to like going from space to the sky or going from the sea to the sky. I don't know. They could be tracking like dimensional shit like Stargate. I don't know. it could be. This literally could be the foundation to SG-1.
Oh man, that would be badass.
But yes, the office was established following more than a year of attention to unidentified flying objects that military pilots had observed, but had sometimes been reluctant to report due to fears of the stigma. Yeah, so around June of 2021, we'd started that like big flap. I think there was that big naval
the
footage
Tic-Tac and all that. Yeah, Tom DeLonge.
And then there was a year of that going on, and then that led to what happened in May, which we covered in a previous episode. Be sure to look it up.
Yep.
And that's led to this department, the All-Domain Anomaly Resolution Office, which is like, hey, our tax dollars at work looking at this stuff.
Hey, what's the acronym for that, by the way? Because that's really important in ufology. What's the acronym for that department?
AARO. Which sounds like
Arrow.
Yeah, it sounds like an AARP like
Supplement
group or something.
It's
Sounds like a supplement.
American
It sounds like their
Association.
special ops unit.
American Association for Retired Other Kin.
Oh, wow. I don't want
I
any
love it.
part of that.
No, you know what? The furries are good people.
No, they
you
are.
know,
They're good
yeah.
people. I got no problem with furries.
most of them are engineering the trains that we ride.
I wouldn't
every
think
day.
of furries as other kin. Other kin are
that's
like
true. Yeah.
whole
Okay, that's
other-
fair. That's fair.
Other kin are the ones who are like, I'm a dragon.
I'm a fairy.
Yeah.
I'm a
u-
tree.
I'm a unicorn.
A tree unicorn. Treeacorn.
I'm an AR-15.
No, you're not an Apache helicopter.
So, in June 2021, the Office of the Director of National Intelligence reported that between 2004 and 2021, there were 144 such encounters of these unidentified flying objects, 80 of which were captured on multiple sensors. Since then, there's been a lot more reporting, especially because this agency opened up, because, again, people were hesitant to talk about this sort of thing.
Right.
So it's definitely legitimized the... you're not alone if you've seen these sort of things.
And I think that's kind of important that we have like a government, like an official thing to report it to besides MUFON. First off, because MUFON is as crooked as a snake. And secondly, because it's civilian run. And I feel like if we have an official channel, people are going to be more inclined to report it and it'll be looked into.
Well, also, it's a defense thing, because in this paragraph here, they say the office was set up not only to examine the question of whether there's extraterrestrial life, but also because of the security risk posed by so many encounters with unknown flying objects by military installations or military aircraft.
Yeah. I mean,
yeah, I think it's more of like a... We're doing this for a defense thing, but like, you know, we're letting the public in for their things as well, because sometimes people see shit that becomes important for intelligence.
Right. I mean, yeah.
And then, yeah, like specifically the reason we've had so many reports since this office opened up was the outreach by the department to destigmatize reporting potential encounters. Each service has also established its own reporting processes. So the Army, Navy, Air Force, they all have their own like report systems that I guess get filtered into here.
Right.
And then as far as explanations for like what some of the stuff could be, yeah, I'm just going to read these last two brief paragraphs here. Beyond unidentifiable objects, there's a lot of new technology, such as future stealth bombers and stealth fighters, drones, and hypersonic missiles being fielded by both the U.S. and China that could be mistaken for a UFO or a UAP. Kirkpatrick said that the new office has been coordinating with the Pentagon and the U.S. intelligence community to get the signatures of U.S. technology in order to roll out those aircraft or drones. Quote, we are setting up very clear mechanisms with our Blue programs, both our DoD and IC programs, to deconflict any observations that come in with Blue activities and ensure that we weed out those and identify those fairly on, Kirkpatrick said, referring to the, quote, Blue U.S. aircraft programs in operation by the Pentagon or intelligence agencies. So a lot of this is filtering out like the shit that we're doing or the shit we know that China or I guess maybe even Korea and Russia are doing.
Right.
But, you know, there's obviously like stuff that doesn't qualify under there, and that's like the stuff that interests us.
Right. And Mike, how do you feel about this agency?
Well, I don't know. I mean,
Like, you know, they're not saying it's
Yeah.
aliens, but you know, they're trying to.
sure, anything should be investigated like that if it's, you know, particularly odd. Definitely not going to get true believers reporting to it because, you know, telling the government they saw something seems...
Oh, see, I'd report it in a heartbeat.
Well, I mean, like the really crackpot ones.
Sure, no, the ones that are like the government done stole my TV clicker.
Well, and that's why they have MUFON.
Yeah. Which I don't know. I've reported to MUFON, and my story is still not in the archives. So
Yeah.
I'm a little bitter.
Yeah, but I think this is just a very nice update because we had talked about this in May. We had
Yes.
talked about all of the stigmatization around these sort of things, and that we were curious to see how fast this would roll out, and as we're seeing, it's rolled out pretty quickly. We're getting some interesting stuff. I don't know how much that they've caught, again, because this is mostly a defense thing. This is clearly because they had that closed session.
Right.
And that closed session had all the juicy stuff that, specifically regarding, what other countries were doing. So,
Absolutely.
yeah.
I just, I don't know. I'm just glad to hear it. And it being, only a year later. Not even a year later, I'm just glad to see something's going on here. And, I'm all for investigating. Even if it debunks the UFOs and it's, a legitimate debunk. Not the typical swamp gas or pelicans. I'm just, I'm glad to see some investigation going on.
Yeah. Yeah. This is the kind of agency that we needed. For so long, it was just, MUFON, and we have our issues with MUFON for sure.
Yeah. And,
but it's good to have an alternative. And, I don't know how much, any of us trust the government.
Not a lot, but for this, I'm willing to, I want to see how they do.
Oh.
Yeah, because they're going to, anything that they can't explain, they will probably just, make a note of, and that's where, the interesting stuff comes in.
Oh, sure.
But are you going to trust their explanations?
Oh, God. The minute it's, swamp gas or a weather balloon, I'm all over them going, it's bullshit.
Yep.
Well, what if
But no, I think it helps that they're also, their focus is defense, so they're focusing on, the technology being developed by China and Russia and that sort of thing, which I think is a pretty important thing.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's getting to be a more dangerous international world out there right now.
Yeah, I kind of doubt China or Russia are operating much
over U.S. soil.
Yeah, not anything in the, visible from ground regime. They both are big enough countries. They have, big SIGINT, signal intelligence satellites, and, Earth watching telescopes. All the stuff we have, they have versions of as well.
Right.
Yeah.
So, I doubt they're flying
sure, but
stealth aircraft over America.
But
that
they
much.
might have
stuff
special
overseas.
Satellites or something, and this would also fall under that as well,
Yeah.
satellites and that sort of thing.
But that's not something you would see from the ground. That's not something the average Joe's going to report.
Right, but the thing is they're talking about is a lot of the reports came from military personnel who would be more privy to that sort of thing. So I think this is again, it's there's a lot going on here, but I'm just, it's nice to see the shit kind of being taken seriously to a degree.
Absolutely.
No. I see it. I don't know if they're taking it, your normal UFO reports seriously.
Sure. Okay. Fair. But, at least there's someone to report it.
Yeah.
That is, well, never mind. I was going to say that isn't embezzling money, and I'm like, Kev.
Well, they're the government, so they're not embezzling money. They're just printing the money.
Yes, they're printing the money
not
and
them
then spending it
but
quickly. Well, that's a good follow up. I'm glad you covered that, David. That's it's something I think we should keep an eye on and report as we find it.
Yeah, I think a couple times a year we'll probably get some sort of update. They're going to make some sort of statement we have, we're releasing video again, because that helps distract people from other things going on.
Oh yeah, definitely.
So yeah, it's okay, we'll throw the public a bone. Here is a weird, funky orb. Enjoy.
Yeah, and I also feel like, even if they, figure out what 95% of it is, I'm still interested in the 5% that isn't.
Yeah.
So.
Well, the pessimist in me says if the 5% was really interesting, they wouldn't tell you about it.
Well, sure. Wow, that killed that. Okay.
Good job, Mike. Good
Yay.
job.
No, I'm just sitting here going, God, that's wow.
Yeah.
I got nothing.
No, I mean it's a good point. It's a good point. Like
Yeah.
if we were to end an episode on that, that would be fine. But we're not ending the episode, so here we go.
Well,
Yeah.
also, I do agree though, because like there is a good chance we're not going to hear about that 5%
Yeah.
unless it gets leaked or something. But we'll see how that works. We'll see how transparent they are on this. And I feel like we're going to be in the group of watchdogs of the watchdogs. So, yeah, fun stuff. So, Mike, have you got something for us today?
So I have to ask if we've done this one before because it's been so
Okay.
long, and this is stale news. It's not this week. It's actually
It's not
from
hot
November.
chaff. It's cold chaff.
It's cold, congealed, greasy gravy from the bottom of the pan.
Well, that's fine. I like it chunky.
But the Area 51 blogger that got raided, did we talk about him?
No!
So back in November, early November, the FBI and Air Force agents raided the house of this guy that runs a UFO blog from Area
Really?
51. Well, Area 51 / I guess it's not a UFO blog; it's an Area 51 blog, I should say. They raided multiple homes belonging to this man. Did they say his name? I've lost his name now.
Joe Bob McGillicuddy.
Yeah. This is Arnu. I see his last name.
Arnu.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Joreg Arnu. Said a swarm of federal agents in riot gear busted into his primary residence, handcuffed him, then marched him outside to wait in the freezing cold while they rifled through his apartment and took pretty much every piece of electronic equipment he owned.
Oh boy.
So, so far the government's been tight-lipped about the whole thing, but they do verify it happened. In a statement provided to Las Vegas Review-Journal, Lieutenant Colonel Byron McGarry confirmed the raid, saying only, quote, "This is an open and ongoing law enforcement investigation between the Las Vegas FBI and Air Force OSI." Wow,
I have a gut feeling.
to get on the Air Force OSI shit list. Ooh.
I feel like I think what happened was he probably trespassed.
Yeah, that's more than likely the case. Yes.
Yeah, he probably
Oh.
trespassed, got some photographs, and it's a sensitive area.
Oh, yeah. I mean, even though
So-
they've acknowledged it exists, they bought up the area around it like
Yeah.
20 years ago. Like, Freedom Ridge is no longer
I think it was even
a
in the
thing.
90s,
Yeah.
even 20 years ago.
Well, okay, 30. God
I
damn
know.
it. 30 years ago. Jesus. Somebody give me my Geritol.
But yeah, you can't get any vantage points. I mean, it also with today's stuff, he could have been like doing drone shit.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And they
So,
were like, you want to shoot it down? No. Follow him.
Yeah. So
Fly casual.
since 1999, Arnu has run Dreamland Resort, a website that covers activities in and around Area 51.
Okay, so that's basically he's just kind of like doxing a government facility.
Yeah.
And like,
So he was probably a thorn in their side for a while. They couldn't really do anything until
Oh, yeah.
he like triggered them. with
Yeah, they
something.
they were probably watching him like a hawk, and he happened to do one little thing that, I mean, I say little, I mean, if he obviously had to, it wouldn't have just been like, he jaywalked. He obviously
No.
had to run afoul. They were just
So
waiting
great if he
for him to
fucking
do it.
Naruto ran. He actually did the Naruto run.
oh, God. I just think it's funny. We basically have a story here of he fucked around and he has found out.
Yeah.
Because that's it right there, man. He has literally... He is living the Fox Mulder life right now.
This also sounds a bit intimidational because it says 15 to 20 agents in full riot gear.
Oh, that's a lot for one dude.
I know they could have known he wasn't. I mean, I can understand they might have think he has guns or something, but that's still a bit much.
That sounds like this is a warning to all you other nut jobs.
Again, I think
It's a lot of theater.
law enforcement
Yes.
in general, though, really likes that show of force to justify their existence.
Oh yeah.
Well,
yeah.
they got to use those tanks.
Oh yeah, the tanks. Yeah, use it or lose it.
Yeah, they need to keep the budget up for the tanks. So
Yeah, pretty much. I hate that, but also this is kind of,
Apparently, it's like a no-knock warning. It said it was no warning. The doors were open, and the doors were broken open, and I guess supposed to be because I keep reading I in Rachel. It's like, wait a minute, what were you doing? Yeah,
Ross, what are you doing?
yeah, but no. Apparently, him and his girlfriend were at home, and they just busted in the door. Yeah, that's another craw I have. No knock warrants. Oof, that's gross.
Oh, God, I don't like that. There should be something in the Constitution preventing that shit.
Well, there kind of was.
Yeah.
I mean, still there, but they kind of made loopholes around it.
Yes, they did lots of them, but we're not going to get into a political discussion.
This is not a
American
constitutional law discussion.
Yep. But wow, that is definitely in the fuck around find out department.
He also says that there were 40 pages missing from the search warrant I received, and the case records are sealed, so I cannot look up the reason for the search, and I do not want to speculate. So it sounds like he wasn't actually arrested on the spot. Doesn't say anything about he was taken into custody. Just that he was handcuffed while they tossed his place.
They planted some marijuana
and then left.
You shoplifted Eggo waffles. It's the whole. That's what gave them their in. Found them Eggos.
And this is all an article on Gizmodo itself. If anyone's curious about the source.
I actually still read Gizmodo and stuff, so
all of our stories will be linked on the show notes as well. So.
Absolutely. So yeah, that's a quick reminder to myself. I need to grab those. So that's cool and not cool at all.
Yeah.
That sounds like some major, not to get all sovereign citizen, but that definitely sounds like somebody's rights got stepped on.
Yeah, I mean, justified or not, that was a bit excessive. But I mean,
we've got a UFO UAP theme going on here.
Kind of do, and I'm going to throw that straight out the window here in a minute.
But yeah, if he to final thoughts, if he did in fact do something very illegal, sure. I mean, they were well within their I wouldn't say rights, but jurisdiction to to find evidence. But honestly, it sounds unless he was actually trespassed or did something bad, it sounds like those just sending a message.
Yeah,
we're able to get a search warrant on some bullshit stuff, maybe.
So we did have a little bit of a UAP UFO thing going there. Let me throw that off of the train. I've got an article by the one and only Paul Seaburn from mysteriousuniverse.org.
Now, does he have a hole in his throat now, too?
I don't think he does, but, if he wants, I can make that happen. I mean, I'm not saying I'd stab him, but, if he wanted a hole in his throat, I could make it happen.
I mean, you are doppelgangers, so.
Kinda. Yeah, we kind of are.
I don't think anybody really wants a hole in their throat.
I don't.
They may get one for medical reasons, but they're not like, yeah, fuck me up with that hole, cuz.
Man, that is one thing I'm going to throw out there is when I was texting, the folks here at home about, I got these holes in my neck, because I had two, and now I'm down to one, but our roommate was like thinking I'd need like one of those voice box things, it's coming right for us. One of those things.
I think one of the first jokes I made was, do you whistle when you run?
Yes, and I told them I wouldn't mind keeping the tubes if I held my breath, my neck puffed up like a frog and it sounded like kazoos.
You'd be your own bagpipe.
Yeah, basically. Ladies and gentlemen, Kevin, the human bagpipe. All right, so this article, Paul Seaburn. Jesus. 2 recent reports with videos of giants on mountains in Mexico.
We have more giants, finally.
Yes, they might be giants. So, I'm just going to read the article and you guys throw in comments and thoughts, all right?
Okay.
It's not super long. When people say, quote, giants walk among us, they're usually referring to giants figuratively, leaders in their field, heroes of battles, creators of great new things and the like.
Or
That is-
NBA players.
I was going to say
Yeah.
Yao Ming.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Manute Bol. That is not the case in two cities in Mexico where witnesses recently recorded what appear to be giant humanoids walking among them, or at least near them, across the tops of mountains or hills in their neighborhoods. Both witnesses posted their videos on social media where it was picked up by the local mass media and the debates began, including warnings about a young man in Alberta, Canada, who we did cover, who also recorded and posted a video of an alleged giant and died unexpectedly just a few months later after claiming he was being stalked. Are these hoaxes, or are they real giants walking among us?
Or something more. Time Life will tell you.
Should the witnesses be worried? Should we?
I'm worried, but for different reasons.
I bet you are. TikTok user DayLoveDexter posted the first video on December 7th, 2022. The comments bounced back and forth between believers and doubters, with many pointing out that the, quote, giant may not be the correct descriptor of whatever it was moving in the video because it looked more like a Bigfoot or another large hairy cryptid or upright walking hairy humanoid. The location was identified in the video as La Blanca, a mountainous town in the Mexican state of Veracruz, and the video and story were soon picked up by El Heraldo de Mexico, which I really thought that was going to be El Heraldo de Rivera, but
The Herald of Mexico?
yes, actually. The mass media report decided the strange giant human figure, which had garnered 9 million views by December 21st, was not necessarily a giant. Apparently, human and large could be either a giant or a Sasquatch. But many commenters agreed that it would have helped if the witness had zoomed in on the being before the seconds-long video ended. That might also have given viewers a better perspective of the actual size of the being. At that point, the needle on the "is this real" meter was stuck in the line between hoax and not clear enough to tell. That might have been the end of it, had not another video of an alleged giant appeared just a few days later, also uploaded to TikTok. This two-part video is claimed by the witness, Garcia_S24, to show a giant, #Gigante, that was captured by our trailer friend. Again.
Now here's my question.
Uh-huh.
Have there been any sightings of Billy Crystal on vacation in Mexico?
Billy Crystal?
My Giant.
Oh
movie.
my God, no, there have not. Jesus Christ.
But I didn't think that would be that deep a cut, but Jesus
Well, I'm
Christ.
sitting here going, he's not that tall.
Oh, man.
Oh,
I tried.
geez. You did. It's fine. I blame myself. Again, commenters could not agree on whether the video was real life or a hoax. If it was real, this humanoid looked more like a proverbial giant, although, like the other one, it would benefit greatly from zooming and a perspective shot. That didn't stop El Heraldo de Mexico from posting the video and a follow-up story. Let's see. So basically, there's been a couple of sightings, and then they go back over the video of the guy who was killed, who died,
Right.
in Canada.
Now, what I find interesting is that they all involve mountains.
And they're all
And when-
hanging out on the crest of the mountain very conveniently for long
Yes.
amounts of time.
Yes.
The other thing, is when we talked about the Men in Black episode that we did recently, and I talked about like the islands in the sky sort of thing.
Yeah.
Like, I'm
that
wondering if
weird
it's like a
lensing
reverse
effect.
of that. I'm wondering if it's a reverse of that. Like maybe it's the peak of the mountain reflecting on the sky, or something along those lines.
So I just watched all three of them again.
Okay.
Like at least the ones from Mexico.
Yes.
The figures are a lot darker than the surrounding mountain.
Sorry.
I was gonna say, did I just go insane?
No. Yes, I learned Spanish very quickly.
I hate to say it, but at least those seem very fake, like purposefully fake.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They
Now-
look post processed, inserted.
Yeah, no, they definitely, both of these videos could be extremely fake.
The one, like the Colorado one, looks a lot more authentic because the figure in the distance is like, things in the distance, how they get paler and more grayed out
Yes.
because of all the air
Atmosphere.
between you
Yeah,
and
atmosphere.
there. It seems a lot more pale and like blending into the the sky.
Now,
than-
I found another video on Reddit, and I was going to link to it, but the post disappeared.
Oh, shit.
From High Strangeness, and it was a video of two giants on a mountain trying to put out a fire, and it was much more like the Canadian video, and it was two dudes, not like just walking. It was two large things like shit, like hitting a fire.
okay.
And I really wish I could find that video because it was impressive as compared to these other two. But you were going to say something, Mike. I'm sorry.
Oh, I was gonna say I need a button that I can push that does the X-Files music. Yeah.
I wish we did, but also they do that often on Mysterious Universe.
Okay, I must have gotten that from. I don't listen to those, but you do, and I pick up shit like that.
Yes. Yeah. Well, I also wish I had their button that when you hit it, it just goes, "Is it real, fuckers? Is it real?" But
So all ideas I have may in fact not be original.
that happens, my friend. That happens. So, David, what do you think?
I think that like some people in Mexico saw the Canada.
It's Canada,
video?
not Colorado. I said Colorado.
Oh, Colorado.
Canada.
Was it
Is-
Colorado or Canada?
is
I thought it was-
Canada.
Okay, I said
Okay.
Colorado.
Yeah, so
My
I think
bad.
some people saw the Canadian video, and as these things happen, like it's like, oh yeah, we could probably do something. And I think they're fake.
Copycats.
Yeah, no, I agree. I feel the same way. I just, I think it's funny that now we're getting a rash of giant sightings. And Paul Seaburn just dutifully being like, well, here's some stuff. You be the judge.
I mean, we have to post shit every day anyway, so
Yep. I don't
So we got to talk about shit on a podcast most every week. So
Yep. Which, it's interesting. I think the other video that was not included in this article is more authentic. I just wish, Reddit hadn't whatever happened. And the other thing is, when the video's deleted that quickly, I'm always like,
yeah, it gives you those tingles, right? You're like,
ooh, did I get close to the truth?
I want to correct myself from earlier. I said both of the Mexican videos were kind of not distance faded, but one of them is. Looking at this one doesn't have the actual video, just has stills from it. But it looks a bit more authentic. The one of them, the one that was in two parts, though, is really like
Fake.
it's really fake looking.
Right. Well, still, I still don't think either of those are necessarily real.
But this other one looks like it. Just looking at the scale, it could be just a person up there. It doesn't look that giant.
Right. Now, the other one is huge.
Yeah, the other one's huge and very dark.
And honestly,
Oh wow!
it
I
looks
just looked at a picture of it. It looks like someone drew on it. Like, I mean, it looks drawn in.
okay, so we're talking like some good old fashioned After Effects.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
pretty bad.
Nice. Yeah, I didn't see pictures. I just saw video. I was like, ah.
Well, from the sources listed in the article, if you follow them, each one it lists links to it.
Well, still, I thought it was an interesting thing to bring up. So
it's interesting. It's also just interesting how, through. I don't know if it's some of it like I said, one of them was definitely copycatting. The other one could have just been someone that knew of the phenomenon and then saw what looked to be a too big of a person
Right.
on a ridge when in
And-
actuality it probably was a perfectly normal sized person on the
I
ridge.
kind of agree with David. It's more likely that this is some kind of atmospheric lensing. Like maybe they're just on the other side of the ridge, and they're being like projected through some kind of process that I personally don't understand.
I don't think so. Maybe. I don't know.
I just don't really believe in giants,
Yeah,
and
no.
I don't want this to be real because I just don't want to think of an army of Ben Kissels out there in the mountains.
So naturally occurring lenses, and even the first man-made lenses, both, and well, all lenses, even now, single lenses nowadays, everything's going to be both upside down and flip left to right, just because you're having all the lights crossing a convergence point, which is the lens.
Okay, so they're all doing handstands,
Yeah,
and that's
so
what we're seeing.
Yeah,
Okay.
everything would look upside down.
Okay, so
and
they're doing handstands and they're
flipped.
walking the other direction.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
In fact, our eyes do that. But
Yeah, no,
our
I
brains
understand.
cope
Yeah, our brain processes it right side up.
and go in the correct directions.
Yes. But I don't know. I'm going to keep an eye out for more giant stories because I want to see something that like really makes me go, ooh, weird. Maybe it's a Bigfoot, as opposed to After Effects.
Adobe.
Adobe. It would be funny if they're giants and they live in Adobe huts, though.
Gillis.
Yes, Adobe Gillis. David, what else you got for us, man?
Oh, I'm gonna go ahead and talk about another podcast.
Okay.
Yeah, so
Competitors.
obviously, like Kevin, you and I are big fans of the Haunted Objects podcast under the Haunted Museum.
Absolutely. Greg and Dana Newkirk are doing some Lord's work. I don't know which one, but
Right.
these are the guys that did Hellier, and they have a new podcast.
Well, based on Hellier, they're probably doing the work of Pan. Anyway,
Oh, obviously. Obviously, they're doing the work of Pan and
I would have
Euphonauts.
said Bahamut, but
Well, yeah, okay, that's fair, too, with Dana.
Yeah.
So,
But I think they've changed the game in a lot of ways for like this kind of like field that we're interested in and everything like that. And their show is very good. And I think one of the best podcasts I ever heard was their episode talking about the Dybbuk box. Now,
Yes.
what do you gentlemen know about the Dybbuk box?
Mike, what do you know about the Dybbuk box? Because I'm going to lay this shit out.
is that like the one that would play movies but off of regular seat? No, that's the DivX box.
That's a completely different thing.
I have no idea.
Okay.
I've never heard of it before.
I know what a Dybbuk box is, but
I don't know what the big box is. Tell me what is the big box?
the big box retailer, man. Oh, God. Kill me. David, you tell us what a Dybbuk box is.
So this is a thing that started happening around, what was it? 2003. 2003, actually.
Early aughts.
Yeah, early aughts. So this gentleman named Kevin Manis purchased a cabinet, and according to Manis, the cabinet, this little wine cabinet, was a Dybbuk box, which is supposedly the housing of a vengeful Jewish ghost.
Or
Like some sort of
demon or
ritual.
something, right?
Well, the demon thing comes in later when Zach Bagans gets involved.
Oh, God damn it. I'm so glad I didn't meet him at Dragon Con.
Yeah, I want to meet Zach. I
Do ya?
I find Zach interesting.
I'll get
So,
an autograph if he's there next year.
So yeah, this is basically a wine cabinet that's claimed to be haunted by a Dybbuk. There's a lot of Jewish mythology involved here and everything like that. But they even make a movie about it in like 2012. It's got Harry Dean Morgan or whoever, Jeffrey Morgan. Yeah.
Harry Dean Morgan from
Harry Dean-
Supernatural.
Walking Dead.
And The Walking Dead, yes.
Yeah. So eventually Zach Bagans picks one of these things up and he like goes ham on it for his own haunted museum. He he says that it's like a memento of the Holocaust and everything like that. So there's some real weird shit going
He
on there.
also
So anyway,
says it is the most haunted object in the world.
right. So
In the world.
in the world. So what I liked about the episode of Haunted Objects that Greg and Dana did is they did a complete breakdown of why this is all bullshit. It was one of those things where it's I wanted to do an episode of our show about it, and they did such a great job that I can't do that anymore. So I'm talking about it here now.
Yeah, they destroyed the idea of a Dybbuk box.
Yeah, I mean, because there's plenty of evidence that it's fake. But, for me, it was always bullshit because, I don't know a ton of Jewish lore, but, the way that Zach Bagans was, explaining what a Dybbuk was, I'm that smells like bullshit because that's not what a Dybbuk is.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, again, but, what was great about their podcast was they talked about, okay, number one, the issues with how Zach Bagans is pushing this story and how he is contextualizing and everything like that, and all the issues, the myriad of issues that come with that. But then specifically, they're getting a Dybbuk box because they had a Dybbuk box for a while. A guy became obsessed with it, gave it to them for their museum. They started investigating it, and then the guy wanted it back. And this is before they figured out how to do contracts for artifacts for their museum and everything like that. So they had I think 2 weeks to do their studies. So they did I think they did a CAT scan on it.
Yeah, they did an MRI or something on it.
Yeah, and they determined the thing's completely fake.
Yes.
But it raised some interesting questions. The big one for me, and the big thing that they talked about specifically was again, we talk about in magic circles, that idea of if you put enough willpower into something, it becomes true.
Yeah,
to a degree.
When does it's all about the idea of when subjective reality affects objective reality.
It's like the 40K orcs.
Yes, so, exactly. If you believe the red ones go faster, do the red ones go faster?
Right, yeah. So the thing is, even though, this thing is clearly a fake, and then the guy who created the boxes, he made, 12 boxes and, released them,
and then
he admitted they were faked.
Yeah, he admitted, I made this shit up.
Well, which is also great because there's an entire market for Dybbuk boxes on eBay. We could literally make our own Dybbuk boxes and sell them and be pieces of shit if we wanted to.
I'd do it on Etsy for sure because that you're more likely to sell it on there.
But some of the great examples were a Dybbuk box that had a crucifix on it.
Which, it's Jewish.
Right.
Yes.
But getting back to this idea of rewriting reality and that sort of thing, Zach Bagans believes that his Dybbuk box is the most haunted object on Earth,
and maybe it is now.
It maybe it is, yeah, because they had talked specifically about the way that you pour energy into these things, you can will these things into existence, and it made me think about could we potentially create a local legend, a local haunting story in our community, and make it creepy enough, get enough people on board to will it into reality?
It's happened, believe it or not. They did an experiment. They made up a ghost. They did a seance, and they actually had old school seance type stuff happen as if there were a spirit. So there is a certain amount of belief that will affect reality around you, I think. And I can hear Mike looking for torture instruments over there right now. But the basic idea is your experience, if you experience something, I don't know, it's kind of hard to disprove my experience with a ghost. I mean, nobody else experienced it. The best you can say is you were mistaken.
Well, and here's the thing. The way that Zach Bagans has, packaged this thing, the amount of people who have interacted with it and pulled their belief into it being a reality.
Right.
I feel he's probably right. It is probably the most haunted object in the world simply through sheer will. But the main issue I have with it is and Greg got to this in the show that they did is that the way that it's presented as being kind of this element of the Holocaust is really fucked up.
Yeah, no, it's kind of like when Bionicle used all those Maori terms. It's cultural appropriation.
Yeah. So again, like again, I don't have a whole lot to add because like I wanted to do this as an episode because like I'd always thought it was bullshit. Like
Yes.
you know, because again, like hey, look, I've seen A Serious Man. It opens up with a little vignette about a Dybbuk. You know, so like I knew it. I knew from that at least. Hey, you know, whatever this Dybbuk box that Zach Bagans is claiming it is probably not what he's claiming it to be.
Right.
But again, it was. I love the fact that Greg and Dana Newkirk have the resources. They have this museum and they've got all of these contacts. And it's honestly one of the best explorations of the supernatural out there right now. Like I'm a big fan of Last Podcast on the Left. Don't get me wrong. But like right now, I would say that Haunted Objects is like the premier show right now.
I kind of agree because they were not afraid to say, you know, despite them obviously being believers in this stuff, they were not afraid to say this is bullshit.
Mm-hmm. And then also like when they were talking about like rewriting the Dybbuk box, like when they discovered that it was fake and they put like positive intention into it, so they would like sing it songs or rock it or that sort of thing to change the vibe around it. Which like I love that. That's just such a fun story.
Mike, they literally reference Ghostbusters 2 and the mood slime with that.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
it was a lot of fun to watch. They had a lot of fun with it, especially toward the end when they were talking about singing at the box and like talking to it and giving it like, you know, positive reinforcement and stuff, which I'm like, what'd you do? Give it a treat? But
you know, and it's one of those things where it's like I want to cover Ghost Adventures as well. I want to cover Zach Bagans and everything like that. I thought the Dybbuk box would have been my end, but now I can't do that, so I've got to figure out something else. But But I'm still happy like to be talking about it now because it's fascinating to me.
Yeah, and
because I remember the live Halloween event. Because okay, so here's the thing: my wife and I, we watch so much Ghost Adventures.
You watched the Halloween one that they were talking about?
Yes. Like we have Discovery Plus, and they have a 24-hour Ghost Adventures channel. So if we need background noise, we will literally put on Ghost Adventures. But yeah, like I watched the Halloween live events and everything like that, and I remember the Post Malone like we're gonna open the Dybbuk box, and then
him
like
freaking out.
It was too much. It was too much. We couldn't do it. That sort of thing. Yeah,
that's fun.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, no, it's a great show. They actually did a year-end Mothman episode.
I haven't watched that one yet, but I want to.
Oh, it's really good. And because like the haunted object is not really a haunted object. He has one of the cars from the bridge collapse scene from the movie. Mm-hmm. Like he got one of the cars. It's huge.
But you know, the other thing is, like, there is almost like a magical element to that as well, because so many people believe in the Mothman that sort of belief can probably permeate that object. I don't know if they talk about that in the episode they do.
They,
but like,
they do a bit.
Okay. Yeah, because that kind of makes sense. Again, because eventually we're going to do episodes on magic. That's that's one thing that I want to do. I want to do a deep dive into magic, mostly because it'll annoy Mike. But yeah, like magical systems, magical thinking, intent, will, everything like that. We're going to do a lot on Aleister Crowley.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, Mr. Crowley.
Buggery.
World's most notorious power bottom.
Indeed. Now, one thing, back to the Mothman real quick, just for a minute. Mike got me a very nice silver pin of the Mothman that is on my heavily paranormal inspired denim jacket, and it's really cool. But also they discussed the Mothman is actually right now a big LGBTQ plus icon, kind of like the Babadook.
Like the Babadook.
Yeah. Because there are bumper stickers out there, and I really kind of want one that say Mothman ate my entire ass at a Denny's.
We have a pride flag in front of our apartment, and we just saw that there was a Mothman pride flag, so we want to get one of those.
Which I love that. I just sorry, you were going to say something?
Mothman's also just entering the cultural zeitgeist in general, because one of the YouTube channels I watch, they're having an event, and it has as their icon, I guess,
Mascot?
Mascot, whatever. A very tactical Mothman.
See, that's what I like about Mothman right now is you can really take him and like turn it around because he never killed anybody. He never hurt anybody. He didn't cause the bridge to collapse. You could take that concept and just pump anything into it and just make it good.
Mothman, he's so hot right now.
Oh my God.
It is so bad that we're just assuming it's a Mothman.
Well, it's got a badonk.
Oh, really?
He's got
you
a big old butt on that statue.
Oh, well, that's the statue.
Well,
It's
kind of been adopted.
I know.
That he's got a badonk.
I'm just being
But
facetious.
Mothvay doesn't have quite the same ring to it.
I know.
Well, there's sexy moth creature drawings on Etsy, and they're typically referred to as Mothmam. And so if you want to believe that the moth creature is in fact female, you can call it the Mothmam. So we do have a name there.
Mothmilf.
Mothmilf. God, no. I just want to go to the statue and put some beans, all right? That's all I want.
That is the one thing that I'm going to do if I go to Point Pleasant. I am going to go to that statue, and I will bring a goddamn can of beans.
I will bring beanie weenies.
Is there anything else to do at Point Pleasant? Because, Kevin, you'll get there, you'll put a can of beans there, and you'll be like, well, now what?
Done. Yeah, no, there's nothing.
There is so much there.
If you go during the festival, there's a lot to do.
Even though, like, okay, so yes, during the festival, yes, but also, like, West Virginia is a fucking hub for
it is. Shit, Fallout 76, if you're wondering why there's so many weird cryptid things, everything happened in West Virginia.
Mm-hmm.
So,
I'm checking something real quick.
Okay. And do you have a story after that, Mike?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
He's checking it right now.
Yes.
He's making a list. He's checking it twice. Mothman's got an ass that is nice.
You're gonna leave this in the edit.
You're damn right, man. That's a great little rhyme.
I'm sad. Point Pleasant's really far from Pittsburgh.
Yeah, I figured.
Because I was in West Virginia.
It's not that far from Cincinnati. It's like a couple of hours.
Yeah, it's about half the distance from Cincinnati as it is from Pittsburgh.
Yeah. But I don't know. I still feel like we need to do a group field trip to Point Pleasant sometime during the Mothman Festival and have us some silver dollar pancakes, leave some beanie weenies, meet some folk.
Like, that is literally a dream for me, is I want to go to Point Pleasant during the Mothman Festival. I love it.
Yeah.
Well, we have friends in Pittsburgh. I was thinking, well, wait a minute. How close is it? Could stay with them or visit them, but it's not that close.
Yeah. We'll figure something out, though, damn it.
Yeah.
We got to know somebody.
Right.
Wait a minute. I know someone in West Virginia.
Yeah, but
Are they a mountain mama?
Are
No.
they going to take you home? Country roads?
Maybe. I'll talk to Dusty about it because it's one of her friends. I'll find out. So, Mike, what have you got next?
So, I have a question for the two of you.
If it bends, it's funny. If it breaks, it's not funny.
Very important question. How would you know you've met an alien?
My ass would probably hurt.
I mean, I was going to say, before you say your ass would hurt.
Too late, motherfucker.
I had an orgasm without an erection.
No, I mean, seriously, if you saw what would it take to get you to believe you saw an alien? Like
me?
Like seeing a picture, would that get you to believe that was in fact a real alien?
Maybe. It depends on
when
the
you say picture, what do you mean?
I mean, photograph.
Look at this photograph. Okay, no, well,
I mean,
see, I don't know.
A photograph in isolation probably would not convince you.
No. I'd need context.
So that's what this article posits is. How would we know what we saw is actually an alien? Like, it's a legit question. It's like, life can take so many forms.
Yeah.
Like, say, I missed that.
Oh, I said I don't think it would be just one thing.
Well, yeah, you'd need multiple,
Yeah.
Yeah.
different data points, or
Right.
in person. Like, obviously, a little green man, comes up and is physically not possible to be, human in a suit.
Now, yeah, but I mean, like, I saw some video of a couple of Russians walking down the street, and these motherfuckers were like 9 feet tall, and I'm like, I could believe those are aliens.
Or at least they live
Sure.
close to Chernobyl.
But like, they're like inhumanly large, and like if it's a genetic disorder, both of them have it. And like, I could believe they're aliens, like something like that.
Now, see, for me, the issue is like for most people who have encounters, and we'll talk about these when we cover Communion and Betty and Barty Hill and that sort of thing. You aren't aware of it in the moment. You have the experience, but like as soon as the encounter is over, you kind of forget about it, and it has to be unlocked later. So I guess the premise, like, if I were in a situation where I was abducted and an alien was, I don't know, ramming a rod up my butt, like, I would not be aware of it at the time, because as soon as they're done, as soon as they, throw the change on the bedside table, I'm... like, my mind's already wiped, you know what I mean? Based on, like, historical encounters.
Say you woke up with memories of that happening in a sore butt. How would you not know you just didn't get really drunk and, wandered into the wrong bar?
I wouldn't.
Yeah,
there has to be
exactly.
there has to be a certain threshold. And
Yeah.
again, like regression therapy, I don't quite know how to feel with that, but that in combination with other things, I think can help kind of give a context that, and if something happens to you, you absolutely know it happens to you. Your body has some way of telling you that. Like, sure, your body can trick you, but like, if something happens to you, you know it. And I think it's just a matter of hitting the certain kind of metrics to let you know that it happened. And what those metrics are depends on the encounter as well. I hope this makes sense.
Yeah, it's a real hard question in a lot of ways,
Yeah.
but like, I do understand what you're talking about. It's like, I don't know.
In the moment, like if I wake
you
up or
talking
I'm
about,
drowsy and I'm seeing an alien probing me, like in the bathroom mirror or something,
you're gonna have like a screen
it's like
memory.
this is a weird dream. Okay, whatever.
Yeah, or like abductees and what have you always see, having like dreams or memories of owls being in the house.
Yeah, but if it's a confluence of different circumstances and like things that are kind of triggering memories, then I would probably be more inclined to believe this stuff. Then again, the mind is weird. You can trick yourself to believe anything.
Oh yeah.
Like for example, like my family, when I was living with my parents, we had a dog named Toby. Toby was a wonderful dog. I had a dream that they let Toby drive the car out of the neighborhood onto the freeway, and the very next morning I woke up pissed as hell at my stepfather.
For
like, why
letting
the
the dog
fuck did you
drive?
let Toby drive the car? It felt so real, like they had let my poor dog drive on the freeway. I'm like, no, like around the neighborhood is fine. Around the neighborhood is fine. Not on the freeway though. He's not prepared to drive on
Freeway
the
is a
freeway.
bridge too far.
Yes.
Right.
Now,
So, but I legitimately woke up pissed off at my stepfather because
you were
like in
convinced
that
that
dream he
happened.
was like, no, Toby's fine. Toby's fine. He could drive.
So that's a phenomenon I've never had myself, but I've heard other people having, of a dream so vivid, even if it made no sense.
It's
a dream that
fucking
was
wild,
so
dude.
vivid
It is the
that
weirdest
that you thought
thing.
it was real.
which I'm convinced that me riding on the outside of a Volkswagen Bug when I was 4 or 5, that's got to be some bullshit.
I'm pretty sure that's a dream or
Yeah,
some kind
nobody
of
in their
false
right mind
memory.
would
What did you
let
Teen
a
Wolf
kid-
it?
No, well, you know the little sideboard on your Volkswagen Bugs?
Oh, okay.
The little
okay.
step sideboard? I was standing on that with my arms hanging onto the rolled down window.
So, Kevin, here's a thought. Maybe you did that like when the car was stationary, or maybe moving at like a snail's pace.
Sure.
And like your mind just kind of ran with it. You thought you were having such a blast.
Oh, I'm convinced it was a dream that I had, because like there was like I had memories from before and after it happened, and then them not letting me do it again, and everyone I've talked to that was supposed to be involved was like, "What are you talking about?"
Of course, we didn't endanger a 4-year-old. What are you talking
sure
about?
We dropped you on your head a lot, but I mean,
we laughed as it was happening, but no, we didn't do that.
so yeah. But I mean, it's the same kind of thing as the dog driving the car, or I was abducted by aliens sometimes.
Yeah, and I've talked about this in the past that human memory is very fallible.
Oh yeah.
It's so bad that it's not admissible in court.
Yeah, I mean, like, I convinced someone that, oh my God, I can't remember what it was.
Like,
Something with Transformers, a movie. I want to say, like, I convinced someone that Optimus turned to dust.
no, that was it's a common.
Yeah, but when I read about it, I did it to someone.
But I'm just saying that lots of people that never, talked to you before or even heard of that have said, that happened.
And it's not always a Mandela effect, guys.
Yeah. I mean, it's probably not ever a Mandela effect, but having been the victim, having been the victim of it, it is very convincing when you find something.
This is like the Fruit of the Loom
Yeah,
thing.
the Fruit of the Loom one gets me every time. It's like,
Yeah.
how the fuck did that not have a cornucopia in it? I mean, I can see it in my mind.
I think we're all still kind of broken from that one.
I mean, others like Berenstain, like I can give them that because misprints. There's plenty of actual things that have been misprinted.
Oh yeah! Just the other day, I saw a picture where someone had a Berenstain Bears doll that had the logo on the doll that was Berenstain, but the logo on the tag Berenstain.
Yeah,
Yes, that happened a lot.
So that I can understand, but the cornucopia, like I remember the cornucopia, like it was there.
But
they're just lying to me.
But the alien thing, I think it would be really hard to know that you met an alien without like a lot of damn context.
Yeah, I mean it's a surprisingly high bar.
Like
when you think about it, you think, the evidence would be so easy to get, but when you sit and think about it, it's like no, because you have to not only convince the easy to convince people. You have to convince, everybody. Like if you, it does give me a bit of sympathy for the people that actually believe they're abducted, whether they were or not, because it's such a uphill battle.
Oh yeah.
Well, that's what communion is.
They can never convince me.
Like we're gonna, like you're gonna find communion pretty interesting. I think
The only way they could convince me would be to be like, hey, you need to go abduct that Mike guy because he's not going to believe until it happens to him.
Mike, you want me to tell you something that's going to blow your mind? If you got abducted, I don't know if I could believe it.
Yeah. No, I mean, I agree. No, it's perfectly. I don't know. If I came to you.
Okay, yeah, all right, fair. If you came to me,
like
and
if
you were
David had come to you and said,
no, if David came to me and said he was abducted, I'd be like,
sure you were, buddy.
I hope so.
Well, I'm a notorious liar anyway. So.
Okay, well, fair.
But,
and we're not going to go into me and my dreams, but But if you came to me,
but
Mike,
that's a gravitas of evidence that most other people don't have.
Now, Mike, did you ever watch Hellier?
No, he didn't.
Okay, because there's something that he should watch in Hellier because, again, you can convince someone that they've been abducted, and it is very scary.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
yes.
There's lots of gaslighting. That's why I don't like the regression therapy. I can't.
It's not
like,
so much gaslighting. It's very interesting. It's one of the scariest things. Greg and Dana Newkirk talk about it all the time. They say it's like the scariest thing they've ever done because they literally went out to get abducted and they created an abduction scenario.
Using
hypnosis.
It
was so realistic that it like terrified them.
Yeah, they prompted the thing with the guy with, all right, you see a thing in the sky. And he just, boom, just like...
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
so,
it was amazing.
So here's a interesting thing. Like, I was a kid, so, I think... I don't remember the context, but I remember me and my brother... I have a brother that's 3 years younger than me. Mm-hmm. Or 2 and some change.
Yeah.
But we were sleeping on the floor in like the living room, and I had to, let's see here, had to guess I was probably about 8, which makes him about, no, he had to be older than 5. Maybe he was closer to like 7 or 8. Something like that. But anyway, we're, kids, middle school age. Mm-hmm. And I wake up, and he's still, asleep. It had to have been around Christmas because I remember Christmas lights. The room was kind of lit a bit.
Now, according to Kevin, that could be a UFO.
God damn it! I was waiting for that shit. Had it been thrown out of a saucer.
But he's asleep. I mean, he's not like faking it. You can usually tell when someone's asleep.
Yes.
So I decided to mess with him for some reason. Maybe I'd been reading Omni magazine or something. But I start like telling him things that he's dreaming about. I just start telling him things. I can't remember what it was exactly, but I was telling him just shit. And then the next day I asked him if he remembered any dreams, and he told me about what I had been telling him.
Interesting. So you did basically induce an experience.
Yeah. And, I was actually kind of surprised that it worked. I thought to myself, well, either he was awake and faking being asleep and is just like telling me this, playing along,
he's
or
fucking with you.
I don't
with him.
Yeah, I don't know for sure if he was just fucking back with me, or if that actually worked.
Right.
I mean, it could go either way, but I just, that's something I didn't think about until just now.
Right. Well, that's interesting. I love that. That is also something only brothers would do.
Yes. Yeah, that's
I did not have a brother, but I can imagine.
So, I would imagine a hypnotic state is very similar to a dreaming state.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And so I could easily see how you could influence someone to just start basically semi-lucid dreaming.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which, makes me think, can we like start a business of just like audio tapes that people listen to when they're, asleep?
That's been done.
Isn't that the plot of Total Recall?
I kind of think it is, isn't it?
Like,
well, yeah, Mike, you go to sleep tonight. I'll sneak in your room and just start going, get your ass to Mars. Get your ass to Mars.
Damn it, Cohagen, give the people that...
Kevin,
yeah.
I had the weirdest dream that I was like mooning Mars.
Oh,
like the whole thing.
2 weeks. 2 weeks.
2 weeks. Oh my God. I need to watch that again. Jesus.
It's such a good fucking movie, dude.
Oh, yeah, no. And then the whole thing where they land on the circle.
Start the reactor, Quaid.
Quaid. I love Quaid.
Damn, girl, you make me wish I had 3 hands.
Oh, I love you guys. I missed this. So, I got nothing else except, let's see. Do we want to do questions or X?
Yes.
God damn it.
You will, or one or the other. It doesn't matter.
Well, we can do both, but I mean, like, not at the same time. David.
2 segments at the same time.
I think $1 million could make that happen. All right, David, give us what X is going to give to us.
Okay, so the thread on X is a picture of a foggy lake.
All right.
The subject is dogs.
Dogs.
And the question is, why are paranormal cases contain so few dogs? And I read that as it was written. So why are paranormal cases contain so few dogs?
There's plenty of paranormal dogs.
There are a shit. I've got 2 books of them.
In fact,
Right,
you were
and-
planning on talking about it at some point.
Yeah,
Right.
there are a lot of paranormal dog cases. Hound of the Baskerville is based on a family phantom dog incident that Arthur Conan Doyle thought, hey, wouldn't it be neat if Sherlock Holmes encountered one of these?
Well, and the other thing is, like, if you look at ultra terrestrials, the idea of the Fae and stuff like that, dogs are kind of the enemies of the ultra terrestrials. That's why so
they
many
hate 'em.
dogs die.
And that's why cats are linked with that sort of stuff.
Yeah,
For one of the
so
reasons,
so
but yeah.
you know, here's some posts in the thread. I'm just going to go ahead and read some of them.
Oh, sure.
So the first reply is, when I go walking with my dog, I've never experienced another presence, only when alone or with others. Do
See?
dogs offer protection?
Yeah, that's one of the things. Yeah, and I mean, like, dogs are visions of dogs and phantom dogs are kind of considered the watcher of the threshold between worlds, and they protect.
Well, and then mythologically, if you think about the threshold, you think about Anubis.
Yeah, exactly. Anubis and a lot of phantom, which I'll get into more detail on this later. A lot of phantom
Yeah.
dog stories have to do with like running water or roads. So yeah.
Yeah, so then someone else replies, my dog started barking randomly at an old Chinese painting on my ball. I think he meant wall.
Unless it's
maybe
a
it was
Beanois ball.
just right. Maybe it was just a shadow, but still, he never barks unless he needs the toilet, which is what confused me. I've never experienced him running away from anything, however, only chase or stare down. And have we all had a dog at some point?
I haven't actually. I never had a dog. But
When I was
I've been-
younger, probably about the same time of that previous story I told.
I've been around dogs. I love dogs. I've just never had one because they're more high maintenance than a cat.
Yeah. Well, you know, here's the thing. Like, as someone who has owned a dog, or at least a couple of dogs,
Right.
you get to know their behaviors
Oh yeah.
really well. And then when they do those things that seem so out of the ordinary, it freaks you the hell out.
No, I've seen videos on TikTok of that kind of shit. Yeah. Where
Yeah, and
somebody's
then-
there and the
yeah.
dog just starts acting, what's wrong with you? And then, like,
Mm-hmm.
something happens.
Yeah. Speaking of, you know, again, I just like how this kind of like X thread lined up with something that we're going to be talking about pretty
Oh,
soon.
yeah.
So,
Synchronicities.
a lot of synchronicities in this episode, actually.
Yeah.
So, this reply, look up black dogs or devil dogs. They're very much paranormal beings. I own a black mutt. There's a reason they are so difficult to adopt out like black cats are.
Yes. That is something else that's in the research material I'm reading. One of the other things is I don't think devil dog is a very good term to use, considering that's not, the typical thing with them. But yeah, no, I totally.
Yeah, and then there is just one more reply I want to read because it's very cute.
Okay.
Dogs protect you, meanwhile cats regularly converse with spirits because they're just cheeky like that. Which I thought was cute, so I just wanted to bring that one up too.
Yeah, I kind of feel like animals are kind of, if you want to get all woo-woo, I think animals are like, woo-woo, they're like 1 foot in both worlds. Mm-hmm. So, they're more perceptive to strange, or maybe it's magnetic fields. Who knows?
Someone also did link a paper on PubMed Central, exposure to household pet cats and dogs in childhood and risk of subsequent diagnosis of schizophrenia or bipolar disorder. So there you go.
Wow, that's fun.
Oh, it could be the brain parasites.
Yeah, that's cats.
Well, yeah,
This has like 7 authors on it.
Jesus Christ.
Well, look up toxoplasmosis.
Yeah.
I don't want to look up toxoplasmosis.
Toxomasplosis.
Yes. Well, that's really cool, though. I'm glad you found that thread. That's neat. Also, it's not nearly as brain inflicting as a lot of the X threads you find.
Mm-hmm. It was kind of a nice little change of pace.
Yeah, no, it's actually a serious discussion for once. So we got a couple of questions here. As usual, our first one is from Ghost Forge. Said, this one's for all of y'all. Accepting obviously eldritch things like Lovecraft, and more specifically, meaning shows aimed at kids, what fandoms do you think? What fandom do you think is secretly a tool to summon elder things?
Anime.
Like all of it, or is there a particular?
No, all of it. Just
All of it.
Yeah. No, I don't know.
Yeah, that's kind of a tough one. I kind of feel like maybe Ghostbusters. I think like if anybody would try to do like a weird ass ritual to summon something, it would be Dan Aykroyd.
Yeah, I can see Dan Aykroyd doing something like that.
Yeah, like some kind of mega ritual involving mass media and movies and making people like, I don't know, start up clubs all over the country.
Like Crystal Head vodka.
Yeah. Oh God. Yeah.
Set up.
That's good stuff, though.
They set up, Kevin. They set up clubs to bust ghosts, though.
Yeah, I know, but it also gets people into the occult and the paranormal. Look at me. And I feel like, maybe Dan Aykroyd had an ulterior motive, like, yes, maybe we can summon something. Or make it more real.
Just make it real by creating fandoms that look critically at ghosts.
And seem to hate women. Because of that Ghostbusters reboot that they did, that like everybody hated because there were women in it. I hate that. I hate that they like did that.
It
like
wasn't
not
a
that
great
they made the
movie,
movie that like people were being dicks about it.
Oh, yeah, no, that's...
So I don't think that was...
hate the movie
I
on
don't think
its
that
own
was
merits.
isolated to... That was just like the general misogyny of,
True.
pop
But
culture.
a lot of Ghostbuster fandom did kind of go ape shit
Yeah.
on Facebook. But,
Well, I think they would have went ape shit if it had been, a movie with 4 other white dudes.
maybe.
Yeah.
Can
I'm
we
going to throw
disagree?
an answer. I'm going to throw an answer out here.
Okay.
I think Dune.
Dune?
Frank Herbert's Dune. I think there's like a philosophical and magical thinking to it, especially with like the Litany Against Fear.
Okay.
The fact that it involves a religious war, and the idea of the golden path and all of that. I think there's some magical thinking there that I think people could take pretty seriously.
Yeah, okay. No, I could see that, because, I mean, there are a lot of people that seriously use the Litany of Fear and everything. I kind of thought you were going to bring it up because of the space Jews.
Yeah. We just mentioned Mothman a few minutes ago. Holly just came in. She has a Mothman t-shirt she just bought.
Hell yeah.
She bought me a very cute Godzilla and Friends t-shirt, which is also wonderful.
It's the Tokyo Zoo, thank you.
Oh, is it the Tokyo Zoo?
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, so, I don't know, again, synchronicities, man, everything's lining up.
So, Mike says anime.
I'm an ultra-terrestrial.
That was my flippant
Bing, bing,
answer.
bing.
Okay.
But I can't think of a better one.
Okay. Well, I like David's Dune answer, and I get, I could say Brandon Sanderson, but he's just such a nice guy. I think he's just kind of doing his thing. I mean, I don't think he's like trying to spread Mormonism.
I was going to say he's Mormon, but his books really don't do any favors to like
Mormonism
to make it appealing. Like
Yeah.
they heavily skirt, or I wouldn't say they eschew Mormon values, but they definitely don't like uplift them or spotlight them.
Sure. I think it's more of just like cultural influence on his writing.
It's the same way that like there's a lot of like Christian influence on like Robert Jordan and stuff, but it wasn't like the centerpiece. It wasn't like become Christian because this story's awesome.
Yeah,
it's more just like this is my
it's not
background,
Narnia.
so therefore I wrote what I know.
Yeah, it's not Narnia.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So is Narnia indoctrination propaganda?
Yeah, come on, the Jesus Lion.
Well,
Yeah.
I mean, the Jesus line.
Yeah. Actually, you know what? If there is one writer in Hollywood right now that is spreading any kind of doctrine, I'm going to go with, I think his name was Jeffrey Scott. He wrote the Littles TV series.
I know he was like a thing in the 80s, but
Yeah, he is a cartoon writer in the 80s. He wrote like The Littles and Muppet Babies, and he has admitted to stuffing those shows with the gills with Scientology doctrine as recruitment tools.
Yeah, I think the hard part about this question is you have to think about, like, in the context of, like, what franchises out there have some sort of, like, philosophy that it's trying to that has to have that kind of, like, magical thinking to it. And, you know, the only one I can really think of is Dune, because I can't say the same thing with Star Wars, because Star Wars is so commercial. Like, obviously Dune is commercialized as well.
But it wasn't originally. It was.
Yeah, it was very much like a lot of ways it was like a philosophical treatise.
You know what? Actually, I'm gonna backpedal. I'm gonna say everything. Jesus, what's his name? Guy did the Invisibles.
Oh, Grant Morrison.
Grant Morrison. Everything
Yeah.
he's done is trying to bring about the elder things.
Well, then we could probably extend that to like Alan Moore too.
Yeah, well, Alan Moore is a Rasputin impersonator, so.
So I'm going to dispute what you said and say I don't think you have to have that built into your fandom or your, I think what you need to do is create a fandom so fervent, so, waiting on the next thing. It doesn't matter what comes before. It could be any, setting or anything, but you just have to make a very rabid fandom. And then once they hit peak criticality, you just drop this like logic bomb on them that, once they absorb it, does the thing it's supposed to do. Like, you have so many people that are just waiting with bated breath for the next thing, and then you drop that next thing on them, and it's the payload. It's the whatever's going to deliver your result.
Right.
So are we thinking Winds of Winter? Is that what we're talking about here?
I was just going to say Rick and Morty.
Okay. Oh, no.
You
That,
honestly-
But that was Rick and Morty
honestly-
like 2 seasons ago.
I could see that.
Honestly, yeah, I think you have a point there with Rick and Morty.
Yeah, can we just go ahead and agree that our answer as a show is Rick and Morty?
But I think they jumped that shark and didn't actually have a logic payload to.
Well, they did, and it was that damn sauce. They wasted it.
Yeah.
They could have affected the world in so many ways.
They could have.
and
They
it
could
was
have.
just sauce.
They could have elevated Justin Roiland to a golden god, but instead they just got Szechuan sauce
We got Pickle Rick
and
what we
Pickle
got.
Rick.
Okay, so we got another question from Sam. What cryptid is secretly really into anime, and what cryptid is secretly really into really weird anime like Yuri on Ice or Boku no Pico? Really into anime, I'm just going to go ahead and say Mothman, because I could see Mothman like curled up on the couch in a blanket eating popcorn watching like oh my god, I can't remember anything. Azumanga Daioh.
Or maybe like, really shoujo manga or anime like Fruit Baskets or something like that.
Oh yeah, no. Anything with like cute in it.
Like the inevitable answer here is a Bigfoot with an anime body pillow,
Yeah, okay, sure. But I'm sticking
which
with
becomes a
Mothman.
T-shirt.
I was going to say,
Yes.
I think a lot of like cryptids are probably into different genres,
Okay,
sections.
Who's into the weird shit though? That's the big question. Like, I don't know, maybe they watch hentai and JoJo. I don't know.
I don't know how you lump those two together, but okay.
I don't know, man. It's just there's something horrifying about both.
So here's a conundrum.
Mm-hmm.
So unfortunately, I know the anime this person referenced, and I have to question why did they bring up those.
Yuri on Ice and
Yuri
Boku
on
no
Ice is
Pico.
Yuri on Ice is it's basically your typical yoi,
boy love,
clean-
but
yeah.
it's on ice.
yeah.
It's
There's
skaters.
pretty boys
It's
skating
not
together,
explicit.
and
Yeah.
It's-
well, what
it's
I
is
don't think it's
explicit.
explicit. No.
No.
It's like
It's romance,
The
not porn.
swimming one was you
Yeah.
know, had boys in swimsuits, but
Yeah.
the other one, that's
What is-
infamous.
What is Boku no Pico?
Don't
Okay,
Google
I'll-
it.
Don't Google it. No, yeah, everybody out there, please do not Google that. That is,
Okay.
you're going to become on an FBI wanted list.
Oh wow, that's not good.
Yeah, no, it's
You know what?
It's
I'm gonna
bad.
say, I'm just for this one. I'm gonna put this person as an honorary cryptid. I think Boku no Pico. I'm just gonna go with Aleister Crowley.
Honestly, yes. Aleister Crowley would probably be into that, yes.
Okay. I mean, I know he's not a cryptid, but like in our
I don't know.
wheelhouse
I
of
think
weird shit.
I think Aleister Crowley went for his dudes being a lot older.
Okay, that is fair. Actually, that is a fair guess. I don't think Crowley ever actually went after kids.
Yeah, okay, you know who's freaky is the Chupacabra. The Chupacabra
Oh,
just
yeah,
seems like a
man.
methed
He'd
out
be into
little,
everything.
Like,
He's into like Brazilian cake
yeah,
fart porn
you know,
and stuff.
the Chupacabra's a methed out weirdo rat monkey thing. So yeah,
if
he's
any-
probably into like all the weird hentai shit.
If any cryptid lives in a trailer park and has a VCR, it is a
Yeah,
Chupacabra.
like the sound that I hear in my head every time I think about a Chupacabra is. "Bleh."
You want to know what goes through
That's
my
literally
head?
the sound that pops into my head. Just. "Bleh."
See, I'm just hearing.
You could tell the Chupacabra a string of numbers and you know exactly which hentai manga you're talking about.
He knows how to get to Sad Panda.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love Ghost Forge defending. Hey, Yuri on Ice is not in that category. It's just sports anime.
I think it's a little more than that, but it's
Now-
it's all PG rated as far as I know. I've never seen it.
Well, Darth Plato has one last question for us this week.
Okay.
So, which cryptid tastes the best grilled up? And I'm going to go with the Chupacabra. Spicy.
No, like if we're talking about like the Texas Chupacabra, no.
No, I'm talking friggin' Puerto Rican, man. The Puerto Rican Chupacabra.
No, I'm
It's that
gonna
alien
say
meat.
I'm gonna say a jackalope.
Ooh, that's a good one, actually. Actually, you know what probably tastes the best?
Huh.
The squonk, and it knows it, and that's why it's crying when you find it.
Oh god, the
It
squawk.
knows it's delicious,
He knows you want to eat him.
and that's why every time you see him, he's crying. He
no.
knows you're just gonna see him, and like it's gonna be a Looney Tune, and he just turns into a hamburger in your vision. So I'm gonna go with the squonk.
I don't know. I've not eaten many terrestrial carnivores. I don't know if the
Gator.
Chupacabra would be good. I've ate gator. Yeah, I guess it's all right. I was thinking.
Ooh.
I guess there's not many.
Nessie. Nessie would be like gator, I think, because it's aquatic reptile.
Well, if we're going international here, I'm gonna say one of those boar yokai.
Ooh, nope. I got you all beat.
Oh, what?
I know the perfect cryptid to eat.
What's that?
The Thunderbird.
Oh,
Batter that motherfucker up. You have Fred Flintstone-sized drumsticks.
Son of a bitch. You just won this one. I bow to you. You just nailed it, man. That's it. I'm down. Fucking Kentucky Fried Thunderbird, KFT. Yeah, I like it. That's a great answer, Mike. Okay, there's our questions. Now, before we go into the wrap up, there's a couple things I want to bring up. First off, I want to thank everyone for your patience. 2022 has not been a kind year for the podcast with various health issues from a lot of us. And me in particular, I'm hoping for a better 2023 so I can continue to bring you this show.
And in specific, 2022 even kicked us in the balls on the very last day.
Yeah, that's the other thing I want to bring up. On the very last day of 2022, December 31st, one of me and Mike's oldest friends, me and him, we weren't a duo. We were a duo, but in high school, we were a trio. It was me, Mike, and Paul. And Paul passed away Saturday. And we're still kind of broke up about it. We're mad about it. And he was really into this sort of weird shit. He did tarot cards. He did, palm readings. His god was a stick that he found on the Natchez Trace, and he talked to. He had his own little Wilson. He was just a really cool guy to be around, and it really kicked us in the balls Saturday. And we miss you, Paul. We had planned on having him on the show at some point because he also did ghost hunting for one of the local TV stations. He was one of us. He just never got a chance to be on here, and we're gonna miss him.
Yeah, he didn't take his own life or anything, but he did. He didn't
help.
Yeah, it was a lot of neglect on his own part. And he didn't. If I want to get a message out there to anyone, it's like
seek help.
Yeah, you can't fight your demons alone.
Yeah, I mean you cannot. You need to reach out.
They are bigger than you, and you need to accept help when it's offered and find help. If
don't be too proud.
Yeah,
don't be too proud to reach out for help. And remember that you're not alone. No matter what happens, you're not alone. There are people out there going through the same thing, and there are people that have been through it and are willing to help you. And God damn it, life's worth living, and people love you whether you know it or not. You have no idea how you've affected someone's life sometimes, and we want to see you with us. So I just had to get that out of the way. Me and Mike. It's going to be a while before we're completely okay, I guess. But, this one goes out to Paul. He saw UFOs with me. We did weird, crazy, paranormal shit together. There's a lot that, yeah, I'm a shut up.
It's very, very sad. Like when you let me know, I felt it. I felt it. Like I never really talked to Paul or anything like that, but like I could tell, like even through text, what like a blow that was.
Yeah. I mean, like he was in Coda's World when I did Coda's World. That was Master Jibo. Mm-hmm. And I mean, God, he is so talented. He did music. He was my fill-in artist for Coda's World when I needed a break. He would do guest weeks for me. And yeah. Just one of my older friends is gone now. And anyway, this one's for him. And again, thank you for your patience. It's been a hell of a year. And we're hoping for a better 2023. So hopefully you'll stick around with us. We got more coming. We got real damn long document that's probably going to last us for the next 2 to 3 years before we even need to add anything. And we're going to record some more Patreon stuff this weekend. Or at least I will. And then the weekend after that, we'll get together and record some more Patreon stuff. So, anyway, David, you got anything to plug, man? After I brought everything down.
No, it's okay. I get it, man. It's important.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna suggest everybody hop on to Mastodon because Mastodon has been fantastic. I'm back to my old social media habits, only on Mastodon, so it's like I haven't missed a beat or anything.
Yep, he is still shit posting.
Yeah, and I've got that shit posting game that I'm doing every night.
That's right. Hash It Out is a lot of fun.
There we go. But also, like, if you want to hear anything on the Patreon, please let us know. I've been thinking about doing a reading of something as well, so I'm up for suggestions.
Yeah, and we're gonna get Mike on there too.
Gotta get Mike to do something.
Yeah, I'm not doing nothing.
Yeah, damn right, motherfucker.
I mean, they just turn the lights out on me and leave me in the dark, so
okay, I'll get you a fucking sheet. Okay.
They ought to get their money's worth out of it. Wait a minute, they're not even paying me. What am I saying? Their money's worth.
I pay you in country fried steak.
Oh, well.
Oh, dude, I would accept that payment.
Yeah.
Country
it's a
fried
good
steak
thing.
with a little gravy and Tabasco.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah. Ooh, Tabasco.
With a little over easy egg as well.
See, that's where I was missing out.
And
Yeah.
home fries. And a black cup of coffee. I'm sorry,
need
I'm
to
thinking
go
about what
eat
I want
now.
for breakfast.
Yeah.
Now you're just hungry.
Now we're just hungry. Thanks, David.
You're welcome.
So, thanks
Sad and
everybody
hungry.
Yeah, sad and hungry. Won't somebody buy some food for me? 'Cause I ain't so bad. So that's it for this week. Remember, you can find us on social media on Mastodon at SupernatPod at HorrorHub.club. There's a Facebook page that I do not really update. We are now dead on Twitter. You can find everything related to the show for the most part on supernatpod.rocks, including links to the Discord. We would love to have you on there as a member of our community, and links to our store with some amazing shirts with art by Mr. David Davis himself. So that's about it. So until next time, everyone stay safe and stay frosty. Goodbye. One country fried steak.
You want to watch some anime?
Let's watch some hentai.
I was just so mad the dog got to drive the car.
That damn car driving dog.
It's like Toonses, but a dog.